look, generally there's a certain view that civility and decorum is giving way to some kind of indiscipline, and the fact that, civility is fast declining at a very alarming rate, and sometimes it's over some petty issues, and how maybe it is time for Parliament to crack the whip in ways that would discourage persons from doing the kinds of things they're doing. Interestingly, I saw Annoh-Dompreh in one of the videos that we played in the beginning of calling for decorum and so on, because somebody had said something to him in Parliament. And yet, we saw him say all kinds of things. I mean, he was the same Annoh-Dompreh who was telling people to go and beat up, NDC people anytime they attempt to, if the Ablekuma North seat does not go in their favor, and you see, we must learn to walk the talk. You can't in one breath be talking about, civility, discipline, and so on, and then in another breath, you're making all kinds of comments.
I agree.
I'll come back to you on that.
Okay, I want just a quick bite.
Okay, so that when Ernest starts, you don't interrupt him.
Can deal with the two. I think that, again, we must be principled politicians, very principled politicians. One of the things I cannot stand, I have so much disgust for, is people who have double standards on issues. Let me begin with this issue of Ablekuma North briefly. I am surprised that today, members of Parliament on the minority side are claiming that if the EC does not expedite actions and declare results for Ablekuma North, they will not even take part in proceedings and all the other threats that they are given, because the people of Ablekuma North deserve representation. I agree that they deserve representation. I agree that it is unacceptable for any constituency to be without representation in the House, because it is their constitutional right. I agree that the EC and all the stakeholders must expedite action for us to get the winner, and I believe the NDC candidate won the elections per the results that are available to us, so that the Rabina can be declared the MP for her to be sworn in and she will join the majority caucus. But these are people that sat in the House for 4 years when Sal was without representation. Why? The people of Sal, the people in the Sal constituency, excuse me, are they not human beings? Are they lesser of human beings than people in other constituencies? And that is the hypocrisy that I hate. That the people of Sal were without MP for 4 good years. Even when courts declared that the people of Techiman South could not be without representation. And so the Honorable, I forgot his name, the NPP MP, Matt Kosa,
yes,
should continue serving as the MP until a determination of the court. They left the people of Sal without MP for 4 years.
But Edem, he doesn't want a repetition of that. That's why he is.
And I'm saying
they
that.
Want to fast track.
And I'm saying that I agree that I agree that Ablekuma North should have representation.
Yes.
Just like any other constituency. But the hypocrisy is when you sat and said nothing about Sal. When you watch on when Sal was denied representation, and even constitutional lawyers described that as the cardinal sin of the Fourth Republic for 4 years, because as for Sal, they were going to get an NDC MP, and so they could afford to be without MP for 4 good years. And today, you are making noise a month into the year, you are making noise that a constituency has been denied representation. That is the hypocrisy that I detest.
Yeah.
My point is that let us get the EC to declare the results, do things properly. I believe the NDC won that seat.
Okay.
But the NPP has no moral authority to comment on a constituency not having representation when they watch on, presided over, and supervise the denial of representation for the people of South for 4 good years. Now I'll come back to the issue of civility. I agree that continuously you get messages, people confront you about what's happening. Why does it seem as though the image of Parliament, is declining and all of that. Well, when you watch parliaments across the world, you always have heated arguments, and even once in a while you see the scaffolds.
Yeah.
You see, I follow parliaments like that in South Africa, where even there were times that president was denied. You know, parliamentarians will be on their feet and say they will not let the president give State of the Nation address, and many others. Some of those things, even when you read deeper about how parliament works, they will tell you that sometimes heckling and all of those things are part.
Allowed.
They are allowed. They are part of the parliamentary business. But my point is that at every point in time, we must show respect to each other. We can disagree, but do it in a very decorous manner.
Okay.
We must always represent how we want to be addressed.
Right.
There are people who are of the view that even MPs or some MPs do not deserve the honorable title.
Yeah.
I disagree. This is what the House gives everybody. But we must invite the respect that we want. And so, for example, on social media, when this issue about MFR and Hardcastle, my sister MFR and the Honorable Annoh-Dompreh issue, some members of parliament, even on our side, demanded that MFR should apologize, if you follow the story very well.
Yes.
Some of the critics of MFR's actions are today on social media saying that she has been vindicated because of some of the commentary that comes from us. So it is unfortunate. I think that we ought to be worried about the image of the House. And Speaker himself, in his formal communication to the House on Tuesday, expressed worry over these developments. All of us must take a cue from it. Let's learn to be civil, disagree in a manner that still we can maintain mutual respect for each other. And that is why the beginning point will be for the minority to identify the culprits who made those blasphemous remarks. Very, very important for us to start from that point.
I mean, it's not just about, for me, it's not just about the Zanato matter. For me, I'm more concerned about the image of Parliament. Because I've said it time and again that Parliament is at the heart of the democracy that we're practicing. If we get Parliament wrong, we are all messed up. So it is important that they get to the point, because you need to regain the kind of respect and the kind of recognition that Ghanaian gives you as parliamentarians. You guys have a lot of work to do in doing that. And Speaker, I'm sure, is fully aware of this, and he would have to crack the whip. I remember when those 4 MPs were suspended, we heard all kinds of things that were said about the suspension of those 4 MPs. And then a couple of days later, the suspension was reversed. I didn't think it should have been, but that's fine.